Welcome back to Parsing Data from Select Multiples, Part 2. Today, we're going to concatenate everything we did in the last session. So in the last session, we have a select multiple, and then we're copying everything that the computer sees. And down here, what we're doing is we're using this junior choices name to grab the labels instead of the names. Let me show you. So if I click this D7 unit, D7 is what you're going to see over here in choices, D7. But what we want to see is this D7 unit. And then the second one that I choose, maybe I do the first one. That's going to be R2D2, but what I want to see is R2D2 unit. And that one is over here in the labels. And then we do the third one. It's going to come here. This is what the computer sees if you don't add special text and codes. Down here is that junior choices name. And the select multiple GNSS is right here. And we are going to use the index 0, and that's where you're getting your first choice, index 1 and 2. So that's what we've done already in our past session, and now we want to concatenate that. All right, now that we know what this looks like, now what we want to do is we want to copy item 1, item 2, and item 3 into its own field so that we can Power Automate that out to maybe a Microsoft list or something like that. You will find all sorts of reasons that you need to do this. So we're going to put the text in here. We're going to say concat, and it doesn't like concat because that's probably a software thing. Now, concatenation, if you don't know what that is, in Excel, what you're doing is you're taking one field and maybe a symbol and a space, and then another field, and you're bringing all that data together. So what we want to do is we want to see what that looks like. So we're going to copy. And if you're copying in Survey123, all you do is $ curly bracket, what the name of the field is, and a curly bracket. So let me show you how that looks. All right, so now if I say index 1 is if I hit the first one. So it's just taking that information and putting it at the bottom. Well, what if we just keep adding to that? Save. All right, so there's why we can't do it this way. We actually have to use a piece of code to concatenate because this is just going to break. There's nothing going on down here. It doesn't know what to do with this because you've put these two pieces of information in here. So I'm going to take a piece of code that I have, and I'm just going to put it in here. So this is from a different project. So what I do is I use a lot of my same code, and I have a toolbox. And in my toolbox, it's 8 years of toolbox code and things like that. This is just my filter on anything that says concatenate. So I always pull from old code because it still works, and I don't want to have to go Google this every time. So once you find a piece of code that you love to use all the time, put it in a toolbox. Because if you have, once you start having multiple Survey123s, like I do, I probably have in my career, I've probably have over 100. I don't want to remember which Survey123 I use a piece of code. And if I leave from a company, I can't take those with me because that's their property. So what we need to do is cut and paste your code into a toolbox and keep it with you. And you can take that with you. There's no proprietary information there. It's just code. So do that for yourself. You will be much happier. So what I've done is now I need to go grab the fields that I want to be able to use. So I'm just going to come in here and paste that in there. If I had a date, I'm going to leave this in here for you. If I had a date, I would keep all of this code because that's how you're going to get a human formed date. So take a snippet of that because I'm going to delete it right now. But just to let you know, that's how that works. Let's go grab this one. And I'm leaving all the symbols and things in here because I want to show you what it looks like. And then we can manipulate it because we like patterns. You'll notice I might be using that one, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so I have I still have some extra fluff in here, but let's keep it for now because I might use it for something. And hit save. All right, you'll see that staff underscore is still there, and you can see how you could use that. So you might say, you might put ID there if you've got an ID of something. You may not need it at all. I don't need it at all, so I can delete it. But at least now you know how to set that up. And I'm going to take that comma out and hit save one more time. I wanted to show you. So you can see these underscores, and that's because the underscores are still here. They show up no matter what. If you wanted to, you could put a comma, and you'll notice I didn't put a comma space yet because I just want you to see what this looks like and how you can manipulate this. So now you have a comma and an underscore. So now when you put something in here, you can see what that looks like. Now to make it prettier, I would probably add a space here. And for consistency, because we like patterns and consistency, I would add, so I've added the comma and the space to both sides. Now, when you do this, now it looks beautiful. But Michelle, what if I don't want comma space in, some funky thing down here? Okay, well, now you got to get more creative. So come over here and add a comma here. And take the commas out. You'll still have one at the end, but it's less noticeable. Ta-da! There you go. I hope that you've seen that you can get this to work for you. You just have to think outside the box. Survey123 isn't going to give it to you, but it can be done. So thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.